Hey, how's it going? Dave 2D here. So the LG G7 was just announced, and I was able to use this phone at a media event, so I thought I'd give some just kind of early impressions on this phone. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the whole phone line as a whole. I have this love-hate relationship with LG's phones. The very first Android phone I ever purchased was the G4. I absolutely loved that phone until it started boot looping, and even the refurb unit that I got to replace it also boot looped. The G5 I didn't love very much. The G6 was also a great phone, but the G7 was rumored or even reported to have been discontinued at the beginning of the year. There were like reports of this thing just being straight up axed from LG's lineup, but here we are in mid-2018 and it's finally here. Now, this phone is going to be really divisive because of one main feature. It's the notch, and I wouldn't even call it a feature. It's like a physical characteristic. Some people hate it, some people are tolerant of it, and maybe a small percentage of people like it, but the fact remains it's a notch. And aesthetically speaking, I much prefer devices that don't have notches. There's a lot of phone companies out there that actually take advantage of the notch, like the iPhone 10. It requires a notch because there's just no bezel around the bottom and the top. But on this phone, the G7 does have a bottom bezel and there's a bit of a top bezel, so I feel like the notch wasn't entirely necessary. It almost feels like they put this in just for aesthetics, like they somehow thought that this would look good with a notch, which I personally don't find that it does. So here's the thing, there's a lot of Chinese phone manufacturers out there that put a notch on their 2018 phones just so it could look like the iPhone 10. And I kind of get it for them because they don't have like design teams really, and they just kind of go with whatever they think is working out there. But not for LG. I don't think they needed to do it. Like, LG's good with innovation. They're really strong with innovation. Why are they doing this? It bugs me that it's there. So yeah, right off the bat, I don't like this notch. But the good thing is you can kind of hide it with their software. So they have this feature in settings where you can basically turn the whole top of the screen black and it essentially masks the notch. Now, in order for this to work, that black has to look really black, and fortunately it does because the screen is incredibly good. It's 100% DCI-P3 color gamut, 1000 nits, very nice image. The blacks look super inky and the colors are really vibrant as well, to the point where I thought it was an OLED panel, but it is an LCD screen, so you don't have issues like OLED burn-in. It's definitely a nicer looking screen than the LG G6. I'd say it's very similar in appearance to the S9 screen. It's really nice, and it's also a 1440p panel. The speaker is loud, like really loud. They claim 10 times louder than some of their competitors, and I don't know where they're coming with that number, but it is loud. It's using some resonance chamber design, so it's supposed to amp up the bass levels, and because it's an LG flagship, they're sticking their Quad DAC in here, so if you're an audiophile, you're gonna love the headphone jack and the improved audio quality coming from that jack. So they also have an assistant button on the side, and this actually launches the Google Assistant. You can't remap it, but you can turn it off. It's kind of like how Samsung has their Bixby button, but this launches a Google Assistant. The camera uses two lenses again, with one of them being a wide-angle lens, and I've said this before in my previous videos, but I absolutely love phones with wide-angle camera lenses as the secondary lens. I just much prefer a wide-angle over a zoom. Now, I haven't spent enough time with this camera to give detailed opinions on it, but it does have this AI feature where the camera tries to analyze the scene that you're looking at, and then it'll adjust the camera settings to best optimize the shot. Now, it's very early stages of the software, and I wasn't able to test this camera out thoroughly, but the idea of it is pretty neat. The other features on this phone, like Snapdragon 845, IP68 waterproofing, it's all going to be very 2018 flagship feeling with your fingerprint sensor on the back and an iris scanner. The battery's at 3000 milliamp hours. It's not particularly big, but because the screen uses, I think, like 30% less energy than the previous version, I think that's pretty cool. The battery life should be good, but just I don't expect it to be amazing or anything like that. So early impressions of this phone, the hardware is great. It is an LG flagship. They're always like pretty good with hardware. It's got some unique features. I really like the LCD screen on it. It's probably the best LCD screen on the market. It's got the wide angle lens and really good audio quality from the DAC. And these are features that are relatively unique to the LG flagships. Now, the notch is something that I feel like they could have done without. I don't feel like it adds a lot to this phone, but it is what it is. The G7 has a notch. Now, the most important thing about this phone is its price tag, and right now, at the time of this video and at the media event, they didn't reveal its final price, so I can't really like give recommendations, but I will say this: the technology is good on this phone, the hardware is good, and if it's priced well, I think it's a good option. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. See you guys next time.